This is What Amit's watching, and I'm Amit, and today is November 19th, 2017, and giving you the rundown of things that happened this week in the news. So, first off, Fuller House is coming back on Netflix on December 22nd. This is the second half of season 3. I've seen none of the seasons. I don't plan on watching any of them anyway. But for you Fuller House fans, there you go. The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu, which has gotten a lot of great reviews, and I still haven't seen it. I'll need to check that out one time. Here it's a great show. It's coming back for season 2 in April of next year. The Fake News with Ted Nelms, who looks very much like Ed Helms, is coming to Comedy Central this December 13th, I believe. And it's just that. It's going to be a spoof news show covering all the fake news that's going on. I assume it'll be funny because he is, but we'll see what happens there. Ticketmaster and YouTube have joined forces, so now artists can sell tickets to their shows from YouTube directly. So you don't have to leave to go to Ticketmaster to come back. So this will probably be a big plus for Ticketmaster. I'm sure some revenue will go to YouTube, but all in all, this is a win-win for both of them. The digital film/TV wars continue with Amazon taking a step up, and now Amazon is coming out with a free digital service. Well, it's ad-supported, so it's free, but with commercials. But it'll be free to the masses. So that'll change the game with the current spectrum, which is the pay-for-service, i.e. Netflix, HBO, and the soon-to-be Disney one as well. Last week I told you that Disney was looking to purchase 21st Century Fox, and they were in talks for that, because obviously they want the Marvel properties and other things as well. Turns out that Comcast, who owns NBC Universal, is engaging in talks with Fox as well for the same reasons. So with both of them in the game, I'm assuming the price is going to drive up, or one is going to drop out. So we'll see how that plays out. But NBC, or Comcast for that matter, isn't letting Disney just win everything all out. Netflix has ordered a present-day Jesus show called Messiah. Simply put, if Jesus were to show up now versus when he did back in the day, I have no idea how this is going to play out. I'm supposed to be comedic or otherwise, but that's coming on Netflix. In things that released this week, or things that are releasing on Netflix, on Friday, Punisher came out. I haven't watched any of the episodes yet, but I'm about to binge it pretty soon. So that came out, and that's getting interesting reviews because some people really, really love it, or they actually hate it. Like, there's very few reviews right in the middle. The other thing that's coming out, which is actually next Friday, so Friday after Thanksgiving, is Frontier Season 2. Frontier was a show with Jason Momoa, and I watched it, and I didn't love it. I think I gave it like a 3 abs, maybe a 3.5. I didn't love it. It was entertaining, but it wasn't overly captivating. They try to get you more involved with the characters than you really needed to be. In any event, it's coming back for Season 2. If I'm bored, I'll give it a check out, but that's coming back. On to what Amit is watching and what Amit has watched. So, first off, it's You're the Worst, which wrapped up Season 4 this week on FX, which is a 30-minute sitcom, well, not sitcom, 30-minute comedy show. It is awesome. It's dark. It simply touches on a British guy who's a writer dating a music PR lady, publicist, who is, they're both damaged beyond damaged, and their friends are damaged, damaged in the relationship sense. And the show goes through their dating and their breaking up and their sexual drives and how they figured out how to live together / not. It's a really, really, really weird show in the dynamic that these two characters have, but it's fun. It's worth watching. I give it a 4 abs. Season 5, which will come out next year, will be the final season. So it's not that much of a commitment. 4 seasons in, I believe 10 to 13 episodes per season. Check it out. It's on FX. This is What Amit's watching, and I'm Amit, and I'm talking to you today about Darkest Hour. Darkest Hour is a film about Winston Churchill, or a specific period in time in Winston Churchill's prime ministership, I believe. In any event, he's played by Gary Oldman, who does a great job doing it. Ben Mendelsohn plays the king at the time, and the film is directed by Joe Wright, who did Atonement. It's worth watching. It's 4 abs. It's it's great. Great camera shots, great way of using space, or limited space for that matter, to show a sense of urgency in the time. And it's definitely worth watching. Check it out. Justice League I saw this week, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun film. CGI was kind of lacking in certain places, but all in all, it was a fun film. It's pretty short, especially for a film that introduces a lot of new characters. So if you're looking for a lot of backstories to why they've teamed together and so on, you won't get that much because they cut a lot of that stuff out. It was initially a Zack Snyder film who did the first couple, the first Superman, and then Batman vs. Superman, etc. The guy who did 300. So it has a lot of his look and feel and his touch, but he had to leave filming for family reasons, and in comes Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon did the Avengers and some other stuff, so he's got a different take on how to do these films. So there's a little bit of both of their flavors involved, but it still carries. Joss Whedon had a bunch of reshoots, so which were kind of spliced throughout the film. So what I would say is there's also a portion where Superman, played by Henry Cavill, was filming another film, so he's got a giant mustache, and so they had to CGI off his mustache. So take a look for that. See if you can find it in the film. It's not overly apparent, but you can find it. So watch for that. But all in all, it's a fun film. There's some decent comedy, some decent action sequences, and it looks to set up for the rest of the films. I think the film did well this weekend, which means you're probably going to get the Flash movie that they're putting on hold until this weekend. They haven't announced it yet, but I assume they will. And you still have Aquaman coming, and you have Wonder Woman 2 coming. So, and obviously the Batman coming as well. So there's some stuff coming from this franchise anyway, and some good stuff, hopefully. Oh, yeah, and also I give it a 4 apps. It was entertaining. Go watch it. It was fun. Check it out. Lastly, we'll talk about trailers that came out this week that were worth watching, and as always, the trailers will be linked below, so you can check that out. The first trailer we're going to talk about is Waco, and Waco is a 6-part miniseries. I think it's coming on Spike TV, and it stars Taylor Kitsch and Michael Shannon. It looks pretty awesome. It looks pretty dark, but it looks like a show worth watching. It's coming out there. Check out the trailer. I think it's coming out next year, but it's definitely worth watching from what the trailer appears to be, and from what I've read about as well. The Terrific 10 trailer came out this week as well. For those of you who don't know, Terrific 10 is based on a comic book that Jimmy Kimmel wrote when he was 10 years old, and J.J. Abrams and company got a hold of this, and they put together a pretty ridiculous trailer based on the comic book, and literally used the dialogue exactly as it was when Jimmy Kimmel was 10 years old and wrote it. So in the trailer, you're going to find everybody from Ben Affleck to Matt Damon to just a slew of ridiculously hilarious cast members. It's comedic and it's below as well. Check that out. The Assassination of Gianni Versace, which comes out next year, from the team that brought you the O.J. Simpson show on FX. It's coming over. People vs. O.J. Simpson is what I'm referring to. It's got Penelope Cruz in there, Ricky Martin's in there, and a couple people you may know as well. It looks to be interesting. I'm curious to see how this all plays out. I believe that's also six episodes as well, but it looks like it'll be a good show, especially from the team who did, as I mentioned, the People vs. O.J. Simpson, which was also fun. The Rock released his latest trailer for Rampage, and Rampage, for those of you who were kids of the 80s like myself, was a video game where these giant monsters would demolish buildings. And you'd play one of these monsters demolishing buildings in a city. And so they've taken a twist on that, and now The Rock is a friend to one of these giant apes, and there's a giant ape, there's a giant wolf, and there is a giant alligator, and they're destroying Chicago. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. The dude who did San Andreas is directing this one as well, which was the other Rock film where San Andreas fault line went to crap and California was destroyed, and The Rock had to go and save his family. Gunpowder, which is a 3-part miniseries that's coming out on HBO, starring Kit Harrington from Game of Thrones fame. So this is the thing he's been wanting to do for a while. It's taken a bunch of years. It's coming out this December. Looks pretty cool. It's a time. It's big. I forgot what time period it's supposed to be set in, but either way, it's worth watching. Check out the trailer below, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And finally, Pixar released its latest teaser trailer, actually, for The Incredibles Part 2. I'm a big fan of The Incredibles. Thought it was a great animated show, or film, sorry. So Part 2 comes out next year. The trailer just released now, and it looks awesome. So check that out. And this has been another episode of What Amit's Watching. As always, Please share, please subscribe, please reach out and let me know if you want to join in on the show and do something with me. And beyond that, I appreciate the time. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Talk soon.